On a beautiful Saturday, with the sun shining brightly and the air filled with excitement and curiosity, SpaceX's Open Day event was taking place at the company's headquarters, attracting thousands of visitors from all over the country. People wandered around, attentively admiring the rocket models and groundbreaking space technologies that Elon Musk and his team were developing, unable to hide their excitement over the advanced scientific achievements. While everyone else was captivated by the technological exhibits, an 8-year-old girl named Hannah wasn't particularly interested in the massive machines or the sophisticated spacecraft. Her bright eyes sparkled, not because of her fascination with space, but because of a big question weighing heavily on her mind, the question of God's existence and the connection between faith and the vast, endless universe. Hannah grew up in a family deeply rooted in faith, where everyone was encouraged to ask and seek answers. However, she felt lost in the tangled and unclear explanations she received. Everything about faith seemed too vague. But one thing remained unchanged: she wanted a clear and true answer. And today, she decided she would ask the person who could provide the answer. Elon Musk, the founder of SpaceX, had just finished his passionate speech about his vision for humanity's future in space. The crowd fell silent in admiration as he spoke about his dreams of conquering distant planets. However, to Hannah, all of this seemed insignificant compared to the big question she was carrying inside her. When Elon announced the opportunity for the audience to ask questions, everyone eagerly raised their hands. But his attention was drawn to Hannah. With a friendly smile, he invited her up to the stage. A wave of confusion and surprise surged through Hannah's heart, but she decided to step forward, her chest full of anticipation. Not knowing what would happen, but knowing for certain that this was her one chance to seek the answer she longed for. The little girl clutched her pen and notebook tightly in her hands as she stood among a crowd of adults, feeling as if she were a grain of sand in an ocean. But in this moment, under Elon Musk's gaze, it was an opportunity for her not only to find an answer for herself but also to touch a deep part of the universe that she could not explain through pure logic. Hannah stood tall, her eyes shining under the lights. Although she was just an 8-year-old girl, the question she was about to ask could make the whole world rethink. She turned to Elon Musk, the man who had taken humanity into space and changed history. And with an unexpected confidence, she spoke. Mr. Musk, have you ever thought that space exploration might be a way for humanity to search for something deeper than ourselves? And does God care about everything we do in this vast universe? Her question was like a beam of light breaking the silence, and the atmosphere in the room instantly became heavy, as if everyone was waiting for an answer from someone who could explain all the unexplainable things. Elon stood still, his face thoughtful, his eyes no longer shining with the sharpness they had when he talked about SpaceX's plans. Instead, he looked at Hannah as if her question had transported him to another dimension. The people around began to glance nervously at each other, curiosity evident in their eyes. After a long moment of silence, Elon spoke, not in the powerful voice of a creator or the head of great companies, but in a warm tone, as though he was facing a truth that he had never been able to explain throughout his life. That's a question I've asked myself many times, Elon began, his gaze turned toward the unseen stars. When we look up at the night sky, it's hard not to wonder whether everything is random, or if there's some deeper principle guiding us. This universe is vast and mysterious, and every time we step outside of Earth, I feel like we are searching for something unseen. The entire hall was now silent, listening intently. The stillness was not one of hesitation, but of empathy, of understanding between humanity and the universe, between the questions and the answers that have yet to be found. Elon continued, each of us has our own beliefs and questions. What I am searching for may be different from what you seek, but the important thing is that we keep searching. At this point, his voice softened, as if he were sharing a deeply personal part of himself. We may never find all the answers, but it's in the journey of searching for them that, I think, is what truly makes life meaningful. Hannah's eyes lit up once again. She listened, feeling the sincerity in every word Elon spoke. It wasn't just an answer to her question, but a connection between two souls. A dialogue between two worlds, the world of science and the world of faith. When Elon finished speaking, the room fell into a profound silence. It wasn't one of awkwardness, but a reverent stillness, as if each of his words had touched the deepest corners of the listeners' hearts. It seemed as though everyone was lost in their own thoughts, searching for their own truth through his words. Hannah, standing at the edge of the stage, felt the difference clearly. She had once thought her questions were just the curiosity of a child. But what she had just heard opened up a new world for her. It wasn't just a question about God or space. Those questions seemed to be the key that led her into a much greater journey. A journey of discovery not only about the world around her, but also about herself and her purpose. Elon continued to share with the crowd, but his eyes never left Hannah. Every gaze seemed to be drawn to the sincerity in his words. Each person's faith carries its own unique color, Elon began, his voice calm and firm. It may come from ancient religious theories, or from personal, miraculous experiences with the universe. Each of us is born into different circumstances, and because of that, the way we perceive the world is also different. Whether we follow Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, or no religion at all, we all have our own paths, but they all lead toward one common goal: to seek a connection with something greater than ourselves. His words resonated, as if calling on each person in the crowd to confront their own deep question. No matter who they were or how different their beliefs might be, they were all engaged in a shared search for one purpose. Hannah stood there, quietly observing the crowd, feeling the transformation within her soul. Yes, this journey wasn't about finding a specific answer, but about expanding the vision of what humanity could reach, not just through science, but through faith and emotion. She felt as if she were a part of a larger story. A story not only about space but about the connection between souls searching for truth. Elon paused for a moment, looking into the vast space before him, as if he were reflecting on what he had just shared. His eyes softened as he continued speaking. What's important is not that we have found the answers, but that we have asked the questions. These questions aren't meant to answer everything, but to push us to seek understanding, to seek purpose. It's in the process of seeking that we see the greatness of life. As those words were spoken, Hannah realized that the questions she had asked weren't just her own, but were the questions of all humanity. Big questions, like the purpose of life, our existence in this universe. We are all seeking answers. Elon turned towards her, his gaze gentle and full of empathy. Hannah, he smiled. Don't rush to find all the answers. Sometimes, it's the unknown that makes life interesting. These words were like a cool stream of water pouring onto her soul. Hannah realized that the path she was on wasn't a lonely one. It was a path that everyone was walking together. Even if they were searching for different things, they all shared one purpose: to discover themselves, to discover the universe, and to find the bigger questions about life. Elon continued, his eyes glowing with passion. Science and exploration not only help us understand this universe but also help us connect with each other. No matter what we believe, the freedom in belief is what makes this journey miraculous. The entire room suddenly became silent. But the silence was not an empty one. It was filled with contemplation, with shared beliefs and unanswered questions. And with those words, everyone present realized one thing: no matter where we come from, no matter what our beliefs are, we are all searching for a connection with something greater. And it is in that process of searching that we truly become alive, truly harmonious. Hannah felt as if she were being drawn into another world when her question was spoken. All sounds around her suddenly ceased, and only the beating of her heart could be heard, pounding loudly in her chest. Her question was not a common question, it was an invitation. A sincere expression of a subject that could not simply be answered. The audience sat in silence, waiting for a response. But for Hannah, those moments felt like time stood still, the space around her blurred by her thoughts. She could hear nothing but the emotions rising within her. Every word from Elon Musk seemed to touch every cell in her body, as if they had ignited a new flame. The answer was not something that reassured her easily, but it opened a new window to the unceasing questions rising within her. As the event began to close, people stood and clapped, but Hannah remained there, silently reflecting, as if she couldn't leave that conversation just yet. She deeply felt that belief, whether in religious faith or the mysteries of the universe, was not about having ready answers, but about the journey towards questions and an infinite desire. A moment later, Elon Musk walked over to her, not in a hurry, with no need for a greeting. He simply placed his hand on Hannah's shoulder, warmly but meaningfully. "You asked a challenging question today," he said, his eyes deep and focused. "But it's those questions that are the key to great discoveries. Never stop wondering. Never stop seeking. No matter what path you take. The most important thing is that you always keep the flame of curiosity in your heart. And that's what we all need." Hannah felt a warm wave rise within her, a tear softly falling down her cheek. It was not a tear of sadness, but one of realization about the journey she was going through. A journey not only to find answers but to learn how to ask powerful questions, to grow from them. Before leaving, Elon returned her notebook, and his gaze sparkled with a bit of faith. "Never stop asking, Hannah, because one question can change the world." The applause from the crowd was like a wave, but in that moment, what mattered to Hannah wasn't the external recognition, but the power of the question she had dared to ask. It was a step, though small, but it could be the first step leading her to a new world, where each question opens up endless possibilities. As the crowd slowly dispersed, a silence enveloped the space, as if time was slowing down to allow everyone to realize something deeper. For Hannah, she wasn't just asking questions about the universe, but also questioning herself, the connection between people, faith, and the endless discoveries. The meeting between Hannah and Elon Musk was not just an event of the day, but a moment that changed a young girl's perspective on the world around her. It was a reminder that sometimes, it's not the answers, but the questions that are the key to unlocking the door to discovery, understanding, and dreams yet to be realized. The journey of seeking is not just about the destination, but about the surprises, the discoveries that can change each person's life. This story is not only Hannah's, but ours as well. Those who are constantly curious and searching for great questions in life. If you feel that this story has touched your heart and opened up new thoughts, don't forget to click subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any other inspiring stories. Join our community, where questions and answers are always celebrated. Share this video with your friends and family, because we always need inspiring stories to explore and grow together. Please note that this story is a work of fiction, created for entertainment and inspiration purposes. Any resemblance to real events or individuals is purely coincidental. We disclaim any responsibility for any misunderstandings that may arise regarding this content. Thank you for watching, and we hope you will continue to support us in future stories.